During an argument with my wife, Rebecca, she blurted out something that shook me in my core. "I only married you because I thought the baby was yours." He deserves to know his real father. Instead of confronting her right then, I quietly ordered a DNA test for our 5-year-old son. When the results came back confirming her words, I filed for divorce and brought everything to court, presenting evidence of her deliberate paternity fraud. Now, 5 years of believing I was a father had collapsed in just 6 weeks. I'm sitting in my new apartment, staring at a phone that won't stop ringing with her name on it, wondering how everything unraveled so quickly. Rebecca and I met in law school, and after graduating, we both landed decent jobs at competing firms. I specialize in corporate litigation, while she went into family law. After 3 years of dating, she got pregnant. It was unexpected, but we were happy, and I proposed. We had a small wedding before she started showing, and 7 months later, our son Ethan was born a little prematurely. The doctor assured me everything was fine, and I never questioned it. For over 5 years, I had been the dad who coached t-ball, built a treehouse, and checked for monsters under the bed. I was the one getting up at 5 a.m. for Saturday hockey practice, saving for college since the day he was born. Ethan had my curly hair, or so I thought, but during one of our usual arguments about me working late and her feeling neglected, Rebecca snapped. She'd been drinking wine all evening, which had become a more frequent habit lately. When I suggested we look into testing for dyslexia after seeing Ethan's academic progress report, she lost her temper. "Forsake, Nathan, stop projecting your issues onto him. He's nothing like you. He never has been." Then she swirled her wine and said, "I only married you because I thought the baby was yours. He deserves to know his real father." The room went silent. I felt like I had been hit by a truck. I could see the truth in her eyes, even if she quickly backpedaled, blaming on alcohol, but I knew something had shifted. I spent the night thinking about it, replaying the past 5 years in my mind, looking for signs I had missed. The next morning, we both acted as if nothing had happened. She was in the kitchen making pancakes for Ethan. I kissed my son goodbye and went to work, but I was already planning my next steps. I ordered a DNA test kit, swabbed Ethan's cheek while giving him a bath, and sent it off with a sample for myself. I also started gathering evidence. I checked phone records from around the time of conception and found a number I didn't recognize. I searched her emails. She had all our passwords, after all, and found a series of exchanges with someone named Alex. The timing matched perfectly. I reached out to Martin Walsh, an old law school friend and the most ruthless divorce attorney I knew, who owed me a favor. I had a comprehensive file ready for him. Within a week, the DNA results came back. There was no match, 0% probability of paternity. I felt nothing, only a cold certainty about what needed to happen next. That evening, I acted like everything was normal. I helped Ethan with his dinosaur puzzle, read him a bedtime story, kissed Rebecca goodnight, and retreated to the guest room, claiming an early meeting the next day. I spent the night finalizing my new plan. The following day, I moved half of our joint funds to a separate account and began looking for short-term housing. I packed up essential belongings and irreplaceable photos and left Rebecca's engagement and wedding rings on the kitchen counter with a note that read, "The DNA test confirmed what you said. I'll have my lawyer contact yours." The call started immediately, but I didn't answer. Texts poured in, full of panic, anger, and threats. I forwarded everything to Martin without reading most of it. That night was the hardest. I couldn't sleep, knowing Ethan would be confused, wondering where I had gone. But I couldn't stay in that house with her, pretending everything was fine. The next day, Rebecca filed an emergency motion claiming I had abandoned the family and emptied our accounts. The judge wasn't impressed, however, when Martin presented evidence of paternity fraud and documentation, showing I had only taken my legal half of the funds. The judge ordered a court-supervised DNA test, which came back confirming my results. Ethan was not my biological child. As the legal proceedings continued, we uncovered more of Rebecca's deception. Alex Thornton, a senior partner at her firm, had been her affair partner. Their affair started before we were engaged and continued on and off afterward. when Rebecca discovered she was pregnant. She chose me, calculating that I would be the safer, more stable choice for raising a child. She never told Alex about the pregnancy. She had written about her dilemma in a private journal, which Martin subpoenaed. The entries were damning, cold, calculating, and clearly outlining how to time intercourse to make it seem like I was the father. Rebecca had planned the whole thing meticulously. On top of this, Rebecca had been siphoning money from our joint accounts for years, diverting nearly $200,000 into a separate investment portfolio. Another layer of betrayal. The divorce proceedings moved swiftly. The judge was unsympathetic to Rebecca's tearful explanations, especially given her background as a family law attorney. The paternity fraud was the final nail in the coffin. I was awarded 75% of our marital assets, an unusually high amount due to financial fraud, and Rebecca was ordered to repay my legal fees. She was also required to arrange contact between Ethan and his biological father, who was apparently unaware he had a son. The hardest part of all this has been Ethan. I requested transition visitation, not because I had any legal right to it, but because the judge understood the psychological toll on a 5-year-old who had just lost the only father he knew. Our first supervised visit after the DNA results was gut-wrenching. Ethan ran to me, asking why I had moved out and if I was mad at him. I held him tightly and told him I could never be mad at him. Grown-up problems were complicated, but he would always be important to me. I've continued those visitations, though they are not legally required. Every time I see him, it's like a fresh wound. He's innocent in all this. The attachment we formed over 5 years is real. Even the biology isn't. Rebecca has been calling daily, using different phones and tactics. Last week, she showed up at my office, and security escorted her out. Just yesterday, I received a letter from Alex Thornton. It turns out Rebecca never told him about the pregnancy. He's requested a DNA test of his own, which confirmed he is Ethan's biological father. He's now filed for partial custody. Rebecca's perfectly constructed house of cards is collapsing entirely. I'm still processing everything. Some days I'm angry. Some days I'm numb. Therapy has been helpful, but work has been my main refuge. I've been fully immersing myself in my cases, focusing on rebuilding. My concentration and trying to regain some stability has been a challenge. I've also started boxing again, a hobby I had to put aside when Ethan was born due to time constraints. The future with Ethan remains uncertain. While I'm not his biological father, I was his dad for 5 years, and that means something to me at least. We're taking it day by day with supervised visits, and I'm still figuring out how to navigate this new relationship with him. As for Rebecca, the woman I thought I knew doesn't exist. I never imagined someone capable of orchestrating such a massive, years-long deception. That person is a stranger to me now, and I have no desire to understand her or her actions. When my phone rings with an unknown number, I know it's her or someone from her camp trying to reach out. I decline the call without hesitation, continuing to pack for a solo hiking trip. My first vacation alone in 6 years. It's the first step in reclaiming my life. 3 weeks later, I didn't expect the post to gain such attention. I appreciate the support and advice from so many. Several have asked for an update. So here's where things stand now. The divorce proceedings are finalized, with no changes to the terms from my previous post. Interestingly, Rebecca was reported to the ethics committee by her own firm after the case details became public. She's facing possible disciplinary action. Her affair with a senior partner while she was still a junior associate has also caused significant professional fallout for her. As for Alex Thornton, he's in the process of securing his parental rights. We met for coffee last week, and let me tell you, it was incredibly awkward. He insists he didn't know about Ethan, claiming to be genuinely shocked by Rebecca's actions. Whether that's true or not, it's not my problem anymore. He thanked me for being a good father to Ethan for 5 years, which felt both meaningful and painful to hear. The most important development has been with Ethan. After consulting with child psychologists, I've decided to maintain a relationship with him, though not as his father. Alex is stepping into that role, and while that might confuse Ethan, maintaining some connection is seen as less dramatic than cutting ties entirely. It's been a challenging transition, but we're working through it. Rebecca continues to try reaching out, mostly through her parents, who've contacted me several times asking for my forgiveness. I've made it clear that what she did wasn't a mistake. It was a calculated, prolonged campaign of deceit. One of her parents even suggested I was being vindictive by enforcing the court's financial judgment. It's hard to believe the level of denial in that family. To those who suggested I fight for custody despite the DNA results, I appreciate the thought, but legally and psychologically, that would only complicate things further. Ethan deserves to know his biological father, and Alex is committed to being present in his life. Several people have asked about my mental health during all this. Honestly, I'm doing better than expected. That hiking trip really helped clear my mind. I've also started dating casually. Not anything serious. Just getting to know people who don't have any prior knowledge of my situation. It's refreshing. 3 former clients have reached out to me after hearing about what happened. They want me to represent them in their own divorce proceedings, citing my attention to detail and thoroughness. Apparently, my personal tragedy has turned into a professional asset. Life is strange like that. 6 months later, life has settled into a new normal. It's not the life I envisioned, but I'm adjusting. The biggest news is that I've accepted a partnership offer at a competing firm in a nearby city. The commute is longer, but the opportunity was too good to pass up. The move has given me some much-needed distance from my old life. Rebecca has stopped trying to contact me, and she sold our house and moved across the country. From what I hear, she took a position at a much smaller firm, facing a significant pay cut. Her relationship with Alex also fell apart after he gained partial custody of Ethan. Turns out, he was engaged to someone else during their affair. As for my relationship with Ethan, it's evolved in a way I never anticipated. We now have monthly outings, baseball games, science museums, hiking trails, and he calls me Uncle Nathan now, which took some getting used to, but is fine for both of us. He's adjusting to Alex as his father, but there are still some struggles. After 6 months of therapy, I've reached a place of acceptance. The anger still pops up occasionally, but it no longer controls me. I've even found moments of gratitude. As painful as this ordeal has been, living a lie would have been worse. I've started seeing someone seriously, a corporate tax attorney I met at a conference. She knows the full story and has met Ethan briefly. Appropriately, we're taking things slow, but it's the first relationship since Rebecca that feels genuinely promising. Looking back at my original post, I hardly recognize the person who wrote it, shell-shocked, methodical in my pain, trying to carry out a plan while emotionally numb. That approach helped me survive the crisis. But rebuilding requires reconnecting with emotions I had shut down temporarily. For anyone going through similar betrayals, I can't offer much advice because every situation is different. But I will say this: document everything. Get professional support, both legal and psychological. And remember that surviving isn't the same as healing. Surviving takes strategy. Healing takes time. As for forgiveness, many have asked if I'll ever forgive Rebecca. I've concluded that forgiveness isn't necessary. What happened wasn't a mistake or a bad decision. It was a series of deliberate choices over the course of years. I don't harbor hatred, but I don't feel any obligation to absolve her either. What I do feel is gratitude for this community and the support it provided during the darkest time of my life. Life continues to be different, but intact, and for now, that's enough. And just to clarify, the journal that was subpoenaed, no, I don't have copies of it. Those documents are sealed, and even if I did, I wouldn't share them. Some things are better kept private. Also, the 75% asset division wasn't just due to the paternity fraud. Though many courts still treat it inconsistently, it was primarily because of the documented financial fraud Rebecca committed. She systematically diverted marital assets for years, which the judge cited as a breach of fiduciary duty.